If you enjoy the locker room and you want to help the show continue growing, go to moneyball.com.au and join one of our free games today. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are here with Euan. Is it Euan Aitken?
Yeah, Euan Aitken. Yeah.
Euan Aitken. And I mean, have you been punished with like people not knowing how to pronounce your name? Because my name's Denon. My whole fucking life has been a struggle with people not knowing my name. Has it been a struggle for you?
Yeah, a little bit. They always get Evan, or like they just
don't even look at it, eh?
Yeah, exactly. They just look at it and see Evan or whatever. But yeah, it's constantly getting spelt wrong or pronounced wrong. But yeah, it's Euan Aitken.
Mate, I'm exactly the same. Like, people will just say Dean Kemp, and I'm like, bro, it's not even spelled close to that. But the pain of having a strange name. But I got a theory, bro, and tell me if you're on board with this theory.
Yeah.
People with strange names seems to do special, like they seem to stand out and do special things for some reason. Like on my kid, I'm going to name him something strange because, like, I don't know what it is, but like, how many guys do you know with strange names that don't have something different going on?
Exactly, yeah. I like the unique aspect of it.
Yeah.
Like, there's not too many Euans around, and you're the only Euan that most of your mates know or have heard of. So I like that part of it.
No, it's painful, but it's also it's good to be unique. Yeah. Man, last few weeks for you, like, what has it been like for you mentally? I guess, you know, last year you had a sick year. You played Prime Ministers.
Yep.
And then this year, you just seem to have built on that, and now you're kind of getting into a position where you're becoming one of the informed centres. What's it been like for you mentally, as in, you know, you're 20 years old, so you're so young, especially nowadays. You know, a lot of people don't debut as young as you did. What's it been like? What's the ride been like?
It's been crazy. Yeah, that's a word probably to describe it. There's been a few little ups and downs. Like, I got dropped at the start of the year, so it was definitely something I've never had to experience that before. So it was definitely something that was tough, but I think it's made me a better person and a better player because I've realised that I've got to keep working on my game and keep performing each week and keep being consistent every week. So, yeah,
was it that kind of, I guess, wake up call of like, wow, this can be taken from me just like that? 3 or 4 bad games, all of a sudden you're no longer the next centre for the club.
Yeah, that was probably more the hard thing because I was actually playing some decent footy. It was more so I was getting dropped because I wasn't a winger, which is I'm a centre and that's what I've been playing. So. Mary said that to me, and he goes, "Oh, well, Pete Metalti is a better winger, so I don't play him." And I could sort of understand that, and I wanted to play in the centre, so I just waited for my time, and thankfully enough, it was next week that I got my chance to play, and I just wanted to prove that centre's my position, and I was there to stay. Yeah,
because it seems like this year you've got an even new lease of energy. Like every run you're doing is aggressive. You can tell yourself as a player, like, when you go on to actually play and you want the ball in your hands at all, like as many times as possible. Is that the kind of mentality that you've got at the moment?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely noticed the change. Last year I felt like I was still a bit of a kid.
Yep.
This year I feel like I've grown up and I've actually brought on the level of first grade a bit better, and the pre-season I had was a lot better, and I feel like I'm a man now. So it's probably just that transition there that's gave me a bit more extra confidence, and I just feel a bit stronger out in the field.
And we were speaking earlier, you grew up in down south of Wollongong.
Yeah.
Is Dragons been your team, or, you know, has it been someone else and you kind of...
Yeah, I used to play for the Merimbula Bulldogs, so they were always like the team I used to support, the Bulldogs, just because I used to wear their jersey every weekend. And so I just grew up supporting the Bulldogs, Hazem El Masri, Luke Patton, Andrew Ryan, them sort of blokes. They're always an inspiration to me growing up. But ever since the Dragons gave me the opportunity, I haven't looked back, and I really love the club.
And has it always been footy for you? You know, we were speaking before, you know, this show did, and you know, you're a very athletic player. You know, you're one of those guys that, although you are a specialist centre, you could eventually probably chuck you into the second row, come off the bench. You could probably play at 14 sometimes, just because you are so, you know, you're strong, you're explosive. Yeah. So you're an athletic kind of guy. Has it always been footy, or have you kind of dabbled in everything?
I pretty much only knew footy since I was real young. I got 2 older brothers that played footy before me, and my dad also played footy. So ever since I can remember, I started playing footy when I was 4.5, and I was playing in the sevens team. And it was only until they realised how young I was that they had to make me stop for a little while. Until I got to a certain age that I could play again. So I played a couple of games when I was.
So you were 4.5 playing in under sevens.
Yeah, under sevens. Yeah, I was just a little thing. They used to call me the axe because that's what I used to do was tackle. I used to run around just tackling. I'd get off the field and be in like such a wind, so it was like I had asthma because I was always just following the play. But it was only until they realised how young I was. You had to wait until you were 5 until you could actually play under 7. So they made me wait for a bit, and then so I eventually played sevens for, I think it was 2 years after that. So
Man, 4.5 years old playing footy, and you're getting called the axe at 4.5 years old.
Yeah.
So do you enjoy the contact? Do you enjoy, I guess, the physical part of the game?
Yeah, exactly. Like I pretty much base my game around power and strength, and that's what I try to replicate on the field, is just running powerfully and trying to beat defenders.
And what's I guess, you know, was Hazem Al Masri not your idol as a player, but was he someone you moulded your game around, or Matty Utah or something like that? Was he a...
Yeah, that was. I didn't really mould my game around anyone, so to speak. I just more watched, like...
Enjoyed it.
Yeah, enjoyed watching them play and the way they carried themselves in them years when they win that comp. So it was just good to see them sort of players. They never really got involved in any sort of shit off the field or anything like that. They just sort of did their thing and played some good footy.
And have you always kind of been an athletic guy, as in, you know, you started at 4.5 years old, so clearly you love playing sport, but have you know, some players, like for me, I was active, but I did enjoy my downtime, whereas some people actually enjoy, you know, they go for walks or hikes, or, you know, they might do some extra training, you know. Has that been someone that you've been similar to, as in, like, you've always been an active guy, or? Yeah,
I think when you're a kid, like, you're always just an active person. Like you always love running around with your mates and stuff. I suppose it changes a bit now that I've playing professional sports, so sometimes you do really enjoy your downtime because you get to relax and your body's sore. So.
Especially in pre-season, bro.
Yeah, 100%. Like you're hanging out for them sort of days off. But as a kid, I suppose you're always dabbling in different sports, playing footy, playing AFL, handball, whatever what might be. Is you're always sort of active and doing stuff for your mates. Yeah.
And the area you grew up in, was it a big town, small town? You know, like, was it a few hundred people? Was it, you know, was it a bit? What was it like?
a couple thousand, but there's a couple of towns pretty close together. Pambula down the far south coast there, coastal town, so it's always had some good beach sports and some river swings and even some river jumps. So there was heaps of things to do around there, and it was a good place to grow up, and it was good moral grounding for me. So it was good.
Keep you out of that kind of city, city life kind of thing.
Just have that country upbringing, and I think for my family for like the way they bring me up and stuff like that. So it was good to have good mates down there and hang out and just be a country lad.
So, you know, as you just said, you're a country lad. When, you know, you did get the call up from the Dragons, was it a big deal in the town? You know, was it a shock for you, or were you always you were that kid? You know, that kid that he's always good at sport. He's destined to play. Were you that? You know, what was it like for you?
Yeah, I got a lot of messages and stuff from my mates back home and my family, obviously. So it was a get thrill for me to get picking that. At the start of the year, it was always a sort of a bit of a goal that I wanted to achieve in this year. So I was happy to achieve it, and I only look for bigger and better things and just keep working on my game. But yeah, it was definitely a good thing for the country town, Pambula, to see me get picked up in that squad.
Yeah, so did that kind of mean something, I guess, more like, was it special to you being a country lad? You know, is that city country game for you? You know, being a Queenslander, for me, it has no kind of relevance to me. Like, it's not a big deal to me. But you being from the country, and also, I guess, being proud of being a country lad, happy where you came from, and it obviously represents what you're about. Is it special to you, that game? Yeah,
100%. They talk about trying to get rid of it, but I wanted to keep there and keep getting played, because it's a good opportunity for the NRL to bring out the best players into the country and give them something to watch, because they probably don't get the opportunity to come watch an NRL game much. So, and especially for me, I love representing Pambula. That's where I grew up, and it's where I'm from, and the whole town is behind me, and it's good to get out there and represent them.
And, you know, being a country lad, do you think that, because I have another show called Bloke in a Bar with Shandorell, and we kind of reckon that the city country game, instead of thinking about taking it away, we reckon that you should make of it more of a spectacle, as in bring like a few games out, maybe have a 2-day carnival or something, you know, something along those lines, so that, you know, because country fans really do get the short end of the stick, you know what I mean? Like they're a huge portion of the fans of the game, and yet they don't really get serviced as well as the city people. Is that something as a kid growing up that, you know, you wished you could have got more footy out there?
Yeah, I remember as a kid, I always wished that they'd play the city country game down in Bega, because it's probably the biggest town around my way, and I thought it would have got a fair attendance, because there's a lot of supporters for rugby league down there. But yeah, exactly. I think there should be more done. Even more NRL games getting taken to different parts of the country in New South Wales. So even in Queensland, they should be taking it out there, just to the major country towns. And I'm sure people are going to travel an hour to come watch them sort of games, because like they don't get the opportunity to do that. So yeah.
And what was the atmosphere like out there? Was there a different vibe for you when you did play out there on the weekend?
Yeah, it was a different vibe. They had the country music playing before.
Oh, really?
Well, Tamworth is the country music capital of Australia. So, yeah, it was pretty relaxed atmosphere. I think country blokes are always pretty relaxed and country people are always pretty relaxed. But once the game got started, there was a good atmosphere out there, which was good to see.
It's good to hear, kind of like a kid from yourself. There would be a young kid in the crowd probably of the game that you played.
Yeah.
That would have been you 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's good to hear from your perspective of how important that kind of game is, because there's not really, how many games there's probably like 3 a year that they take out to the country.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's good. Like, it's good to hear that there is still some passion, in the country for those games, because we get so caught up in this city bubble. We think that we're the only ones that matter to the NRL, and there's like millions of, hundreds of thousands of people in the country.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the way to create revenue and create more supporter base of the NRL, is to reach out to them fans, because if they've got no interest in the game because they're not being able to watch it, or what's it going to do to the game? It's going to steadily go downhill. And we can see that in some country towns. We're losing first grade teams and losing clubs. They're folding because they don't have enough players wanting to play, and it might cost too much for them to start funding that team, because people have to fork out $350 just to even register to play country footy, and which is a lot of money for people just working.
Especially in one hit.
Yeah, exactly. Just working as a carpenter or anything like that, just to fork that out and then risk being injured as well. So I think the NRL has to give a bit more money out to the country clubs to help them financially. Yeah,
it's interesting for me personally, because I as I said, like, I've got no kind of emotional connection to it because I'm from the Gold Coast. So, growing up, is there any kind of memories that you have of playing footy or sport that kind of ticked over in your mind, like, okay, I'm pretty good at this here. I'm pretty good at this, sport thing.
Yeah, it didn't really dawn on me that I actually had too much potential until I was probably about 14 and a half when the Dragons did come in and watch me.
Oh, really?
I thought I was just probably good in my own group, and I was just playing it and loved playing it with my mates. And the Dragons, I was playing an AFL Grand Final in the morning, and I was only supposed to play half a match because I'd had to travel an hour and a half to play my major semi-final in the under-14s rugby league team for the Moomba Bulldogs. And so I played the grand final, we won that, and I had to quickly get in the car and duck off to the next game for the Bulldogs, and we ended up winning that game as well. And then I come off the field and then realised that Brian Keegan, a Dragons recruitment officer, was there and wanted to hand me a contract. So that was when it sort of dawned on me a little bit, but I was just pretty stoked with myself to even get that opportunity. And then it was the next year when I made the Australian merit side, and that's when I really thought, this might be me, this might be what I can do.
Wow. Because like kids these days, way before 14, are getting funneled into the system.
Yeah.
Whereas you're a 14-year-old playing AFL. Like, what if your part of you was like, we won a grand final, I might just miss footy. Do you know what I mean? That small decision, and then boom. So, what was the conversation like? Did they say to you, we really think that you've got this or that, and here's a contract, or was it a long drawn out come to one of our camps or whatever?
No, it was straight away. They actually wanted to get me off the field because they didn't want anyone else to see me. So,
really?
And Dad was trying to get me off the field because we were winning the game comfortably. And I was telling my dad, because he was my coach. I was like, I don't want to come off the field. Like,
really?
I was having too much fun playing with the boys. Yep. So, it was only until after the game I realised why he was trying to do it. It's because Brian Keegan didn't want anyone else to see me.
So did you stay on the field?
Yeah, I stayed in the field.
So you said no to your dad?
Yeah, I said no, Dad. Like, I thought he was just trying to give the other boys a bit of a turn. But I didn't really want to come off because I was just having so much fun. But I used to get, because it was father-son sort of thing. It was a bit, sometimes you could do that. If
you could say no. If
it was anyone else, sometimes you'd just feel like, all right, I'll come off. But because it was my dad, I used to like, no, Dad, I don't want to come off. But and that's when they offered me a contract, and everything started to snowball from there. And
so that would have been 2011 or 12 for you? 11?
Yeah, I think.
Maybe even 10.
Yeah, 2011.
Because 2012, you're in the 20s or 13?
I can't actually remember off the top of my head.
Because you made the 2013, you were the NYC Player of the Year for the Dragons.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking correctly.
So 2012 was my first year of 20s, but I played SG Ball that year as well. And the year before was the first year I moved up to Wollongong. So 16, 17, yep. So
just reading here, in 2013, So 13 and 14, you played 20s.
Yep.
13, you made the Australian Schoolboys. What was that like?
Yeah, Australian Schoolboys.
Was that the real indicator? Like, out of all of Australia, I'm in the top 17 here?
Nah, it wasn't really an indicator, I think. It was more, as I said, when I was 15 and I got picked in that merit side, and they only ever picked 13 people. Yeah. And so that's the best 13 under 15-year-olds in the whole of Australia. So that's when I was really like, this is it. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And that's when I just knuckled down and started trying to put goals forward for myself and trying to reach them goals. And
so you actively decided, okay, this could be a career path here now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So, and then I just like to set goals, and obviously them sort of teams were the goals I've set for myself, and I just really wanted to achieve and get put in them squads. So yeah, I'd probably say under 15s was when I really, really said this is what I want to do.
And what was, obviously your dad had a love for footy, he was coaching. Has he played footy? Did he play any footy locally, or did he play first grade anywhere?
Yeah, Dad, he's a rugby union boy to begin with, so he played a lot of footy before the ACT Brumbies were ACT Brumbies. They used to have an ACT side, and he used to play a lot of tests against different international sides and all that sort of thing. So he was pretty good in his sport, rugby union, and then it wasn't until later in his career when he started playing league just down home, because when he moved home and he met my mum. Yep. So that's when he started playing league, and because we didn't have rugby union around there, so that's the way league come about. But I think he seemed to enjoy league more.
It's so ironic because it just proves that how important it is for rugby league to be a stronghold in those country towns. You've got your father, for example. If your father doesn't go back to a country town that plays rugby league, he plays rugby union. You never play rugby. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It just snowballs the domino effect. Like.
Yeah. So I mean, it's as I said, it's good to hear from a person that is from the country that kind of does have a passion for it. But yeah, so was your father active in kind of, this is the things you need to do as a young man to be able to play in a role? Was he active in your kind of career, or did you move away and just kind of, on the phone, this is what you need,
Oh, the good thing about my parents, they always gave me the option to do whatever I want. Yeah. They never pushed me, they never rode me to play footy or anything like that. They always left it up to me, make my decisions, and that's a good thing about them. They'd always give advice, and they were always good with giving advice, and which was good to have. But I didn't want that sort of family figure just to ride me and push me and probably get me a bit over and trying too hard. So
there's a lot of growing up doing little athletics myself. I know so many kids that got ridden so hard that don't even go anywhere near sport now.
Exactly, they lose their passion for it because they're getting so much pressure. So my family are just all about enjoying yourself and you're making the right decision just by enjoying yourself. So which was good to have that sort of advice from my family and that. But Dad's probably my biggest critic. He always has something to say about my game, which is fine. I can always take it from him. He's coached me most of my career. So
you need that too. You just need that kind of like that bearing of like, this is an objective opinion that may want the best for me kind of thing.
Exactly. So it was always good to have.
So he was more of a I want my kid to play footy, but if you don't, you don't. It's all good kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, it's cool. So 2014, when you were named in the New South Wales under 20s team to play Queensland, was that something special to you?
Yeah, for sure. Origin's the ultimate goal for me. I grew up just loving the game, loving the aspect, loving the passion, loving the brutality of it. And to get picked in the under-20 side for that was definitely something special. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play in the game because I tore my hemi prior, but it was definitely good to be in the lead up there and got Dean Pay as my coach, and it's like a mini Origin sort of thing to get you ready for the big time if you ever make it.
Yeah, it's like a smaller version.
Yeah, so it was always good to be part of them sort of camps.
And was it hard, like gut wrenching that you did have to pull out? Were you devastated that you had to pull out injury?
Yeah, for sure. Like I was really disappointed, but I suppose sometimes you got to look at long term, and it was probably a bit more safer to leave me out of that game in case I got further injury. And it did so happen that the next time I tried to come back from that injury, I did it again. So if I tried to come back any earlier, it would have happened. Yeah, would have been inevitable. So. And
so you played for the junior Kangaroos against the Kiwis. Were you in the junior Kangaroo side with that crazy hooker?
Yeah, I was part of that. We walked forward.
This is so interesting to me. Like I loved watching it because no one really crossed the line that much, but it was so close. What was it like?
I don't know. Yeah, it was. I knew we were going to do it. I didn't think we were going to be walking that far forward.
So you had agreed to walk forward before?
It was talked about. It was actually talked about. The coach said walk forward if you want, and we all got together and said we will. And so we walked forward, and it seemed like they just kept walking forward too, and then we just didn't want to be the ones that were going to walk backwards.
Yeah, didn't want to back down.
So we stood our ground, and then sometimes even walked a bit more forward. And it really began nose on nose, and
Yep.
it was them confronting us and us confronting them, and we were standing our ground. And yeah, there was a bit of push and shove after it, and just showed the passion that both countries have for that sort of thing.
So I mean, when you walk us into, like, take us back into that moment.
Yeah.
What are you feeling? Are you feeling aggressive? Are you feeling angry? Are you feeling confrontational? What are you feeling at that moment?
I suppose there's a bit of all them things you just mentioned. It definitely pumped me up, and I was ready to go. It was like this brings war sort of thing. So, and I think they felt the same. But there's plenty of dudes after the game go shake hands, go have a drink with, and it was nothing personal. It was just to bring the sport up, and it was just to make that game a bit extra special.
Yeah. In the moment, what was the intensity like for you? Did it feel like you were about to get in a fight, kind of thing? What was it?
It actually did. Like, I thought there was going to be a blue. Honestly, like, people pushing, headbutting. Like, it was nearly to the aspect of a fight, and there was all over the news for a week or two there. You can look on YouTube.
It still comes up now.
You still look onto it this day, but it was definitely a big pump up.
Mate, that was the most intense haka I've ever... You can compare that to any haka. No haka has ever become that... It was just like a cauldron of aggression. It was crazy, man. And so you guys went on to win that game?
No, we actually didn't. We
really?
Lost by a field goal, but I think it was probably one of the worst games we could have played that day. I think 9 times out of 10 we played them team. Any day we beat them by 20. So
really?
It was just we'd be making line breaks and we just couldn't complete. So it was just a bit disappointing to lose that game.
Do you reckon maybe the tension did kind of, bubble over? You know what I mean?
You could probably say it might have made people a bit more tense, but at the end of the day, they did well to stay in it and get the win. But yeah, it was just definitely disappointing. I thought we could have beat them any day. And
did that team have any history, or that was literally just in the moment they recognised that you were walking forward and you recognised that they were walking forward and you just went? It was.
Honestly, like, you can't read that, you can't plan that stuff. It just happens. So it's one of them sort of moments. It just happens, and it just went so fast. And then we realised that we were in each other's faces, pushing each other, and Kiwi boys probably thought it was a bit disrespectful. It was nothing to do with that. It was more just like, we're ready for the challenge. And,
it was maybe even respectful.
Exactly. Yeah. We were respecting them because they were ready for war, and so we were. So were we. So it was definitely good to pick up that game.
Yeah, mate. I just loved that there wasn't a punch thrown. Because it showed you how much passion there was, but also how much mutual respect there was. You know, you do that in the street, there's a punch on 100%. You know,
for sure.
Whereas on a footy field, there was. Yeah, oh man, I loved it. I think it was just. Yeah. It was such an iconic. It was an iconic footy moment of. Yeah. Just mate, it's great. Anyway, so at the end of the year, you were named Dragon NYC Player of the Year. Yeah. So it just kind of seems like, ever since you're 14, every year you seem to be stepping up and stepping. You know what I mean? Is that kind of the feeling that you're feeling over the last few years? Yeah,
that's what I've always sort of said. You don't look back in the past. You always strive for the future, and that's why I talk about keep setting goals for myself. I want to keep improving, keep getting better at my game, and that's the way I sort of do it, is just setting goals and trying to achieve them. And you don't do that by just looking back on the past and celebrating. You just keep working hard, put your head down, and do the best you can.
And so, when you were named at NYC Player of the Year, was that a goal for you? Was that a specific goal, or was it just like play as good a footy as you can?
Wasn't really a goal I set. It was probably more of a bonus sort of thing. That year I set myself to play junior Kangaroos and make the under-20s Origin side, and that on top of it just celebrated the year more than anything. It was with the Dragons. It was more about winning that premiership. We got to the preliminary final and lost against the Broncos, but we had a dominant side all year, so it was pretty disappointing to not get to that grand final, because I thought we would have probably won it. So, which was a bit disappointing, but we had a really good side, and that proved, because I had Adam Finnell-Blake versing him in the junior Kiwis. So it was mate against mate in that sort of comp. So that's why there was that mutual respect.
Okay. And so the next year, 2015, you make your debut.
Yep.
And then you play 23 games.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the debut like? Was it expected? Were you a part of the first grade squad?
Yeah, I was. So I come into the first grade squad in pre-season that year sort of thing. So it just helped me to really progress my game. If I didn't have that pre-season, I don't think I would have played 23 games in a row.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that step from 20s to first grade is a big jump, and if you've just been playing 20s, to make that jump, I think it's too big.
Yep.
So that pre-season really helped me, because I was versing the bigger boys that played on a real week to week, and just at training, you still bash at each other at training. So that definitely got me better as a player.
And like with 20s, like a lot of people, don't get me wrong, they may be as heavy as the men, they may be able to bench press as much as the men, but when you're playing against first graders, every tackle is a hard tackle. Every wrestle is a hard, whereas 20s, you might get away with a
couple little ones. But so definitely helped me, and I played Raiders down in Canberra, which was pretty close to home for me because it's only 2.5 hours, 3 hours from Pambia there. So I got a lot of support from my friends and family to come up. I wasn't named to play. It was I found out midweek because one of the boys I think had an injury, so I got put in. And it was a bit of a shaky start. I took a dummy on Blake Austin and he ran through, so it was a horror start.
It's Blake Austin.
Horror start to my career, but it just went uphill from there. And we were 18-0 down, and we ended up coming back and winning that game.
22-20.
Yeah, 22-20 or something like that. So it was definitely a highlight of my career. And then, it was definitely good to get that win off the bat. And I think we won 8 straight after that. So.
Yeah, that's when 2015 is when you guys were at top of the table for the first half of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, what was that like for you going into, you're making your debut, plus you're on top of the NRL ladder.
Yeah.
Well, mentally, was it just all, you take it in your stride, or what was it like?
Yeah, how good was it? Yeah. Really, honestly, it was, we were in some red hot form there. Our defence couldn't be broken, and we were going really well. It was only until a couple of injuries upset our squad that really hurt us that year, and it was hard to get that main squad back together again because people kept having little injuries or getting suspended. So, but yeah, definitely it was a cool, crazy ride, and people were calling me the lucky charm, but definitely wasn't anything to do with that. It was just the way our team was working and the attitude we were showing.
And so so you made the Prime Ministers that year as well.
Yeah.
Was that a goal? Surely not.
No, it's one of those sort of teams you don't really sort of notice that much. The goal that year was to play first grade.
Yeah.
I wanted to play a few games, but
it's an important team. Like if you're making that side, if your career continues on that track, there's a very good chance that you could be making more sides. Yeah,
especially when you get picked in the side with players like Trent Merrin and Adam Reynolds and all them sort of blokes. Their stars of the future, Jack Whiten and stuff like that. So it's definitely a confidence booster to get picked in the side like that, and it was a good experience to go over to PNG because they absolutely love their footy.
What was it like? What was that like for you?
They're crazy. They're so crazy about their rugby league. They just want a piece of clothing that has NRL on it or anything like that. They want your boots. They want anything you play in your socks, whatever. But yeah, so they're pretty crazy, and even they're trying to jump on the field after it, and they're getting beaten by the security guards.
Oh, really?
Because they're so brutal over there. Yeah.
So were you on the bench at the time, and they're trying to jump over, or?
So we're on the field. We all celebrated the game on the field, and just shaking hands with the rest of the players, and they're all trying to jump on the field, and the security guards got their batons out trying to whack him over the head. It's brutal. Like you're going, wow, that's too far. Like he's fallen over and he's still getting beaten. Like it's crazy.
Mate, over here that would be on people would be filming it. It'd be on the Facebook,
all over the news.
Over there, they're probably just like, oh well, sweet, just go home, chill out.
Exactly.
What was that like? A country lad. Had you left the country? Had you been out of the country before then?
Yeah, I was pretty fortunate to play out of the country a few times actually before that. I made the AIS squad when I was 16, just before I come up to play SG Ball. Yep. So we went to France, Wales, England, played some tests over there, which was a really good experience for myself, and it was probably good to have that experience before I come play at SG Ball because it got me ready to play that sort of level of competition. So that was definitely a good experience. We were over there for about 3.5 weeks. So as a young kid, never been out of the country, that was the best experience ever. So
any memories from that trip? Maybe even just footy wise. And obviously, I'm sure there are memories from that trip. But footy wise,
it was probably playing against England, their under 18 squad. Our AS squad was under 17s, and we played them and beat them 18-16 at Manchester Stadium. And the atmosphere was pretty good. There was a fair bit of a crowd for such a younger level game, and it was a real physical game. It was the hardest game I played to that date. So it was definitely a good experience, and I ended up getting players player for that game as well. Yeah,
and players player is like a lot of people may not realise players is what you want to get. There's man of the match and there's all that other shit. If you're getting players player, you're a happy man because that means your boys
for sure
appreciating what you're doing.
Yeah, because I was still young, so I was one of the youngest in the team. And
because you're 16.
I was playing off the bench for that game, and I got chucked in the front row because they wanted some impact, and I ended up staying
front row.
On the
far out.
First time and the only time I've ever ran off the kickoff, and it was a pretty scary moment. But running the big England boys, but it was good fun.
Bro, I don't know how they do it, man. Yeah. Those front rows running off the kickoff. Fuck that
exactly.
shit.
That's the one position I want to play, front row off the kickoff.
They are modern day warriors, bro.
Exactly.
I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
Okay, so you make your prime minister's side. I guess when you made it, where's your head mentally then? Are you starting to think about country the next year, maybe, or what are you thinking there?
Yeah, it's hard to say because we had Mad Monday, and it wasn't until I woke up on Tuesday morning that I found out that we were going. So I was not ready at all. Really, I was like, yeah, how good's this? Off season, first year of NRL done. Like it was a good year. Just celebrated with the boys. Now time to go away and have a bit of travel, like chill out. And then I found out I was making that team. I was like, oh shit, now I got to.
So it was a huge surprise for you.
Yeah, it was just something I didn't think about. It just popped up. I found out of Twitter because someone tagged me in the team. And I was like, oh shit.
Whoa, wait a second here, bro. Wait a second. So so you have Mad Monday. You've had the great time with the boys. Season's over. First year NRL. Everything's great. You're scrolling through Twitter.
Yeah.
And you find out that you've
someone posted me in the status saying congratulations, and I was just like, what? I made this team. So. And we left the next week, and we had a medical the day after, but I was still pretty sick from Monday, so I didn't even go up. I got Benny Hornby to take up my passport because I was feeling crap. So
really?
Yeah. So it was all pretty surreal.
So when you got tagged and congratulated, were you like, I got a ring? Like, who'd you ring? Were you like, what's still like?
I think Ben Harron or Robert Finch from the Dragons sent me an email of what we had to do and go for the medical, but that's all I knew about. Like, honestly, it was. That's one thing that NRL is pretty poor with these days, is letting you know what the goal is for even for country. You find out off your manager that you might be getting picked, but there's no itinerary until you get into camp, so you don't know what to bring.
Oh man!
So you only get like a date, say 12 o'clock. Meet at ANZ, and that's about it. So
just be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Be there. Far out. That's crazy. It's like the best Twitter tweet you've ever got in your life.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so this year, as you said, you got dropped because winger, and you were playing on the wing and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Then you make your way back into the side. So you probably weren't expecting to be selected in country, were you? Like, I mean, if you did get dropped, or were not expecting, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. I wasn't probably not expecting. I only missed the one game through getting dropped.
Oh, okay. I
was back in round. So I played round 1, didn't play round 2, played round 3, and I played ever since.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
It was when I got I had a little hemi strain after, what game was it? After the Titans. I did it really early in the Titans, so I thought that might have done my chances because I missed a week off for that. But yeah, I was fortunate enough that Fitzy told me that he wanted to tell me in the tunnel when we were playing the Anzac Day clash, because I was injured for that game. That's the game I missed. And he mentioned to me when I made the team, he goes, I wanted to tell you the other week when I seen you, but I couldn't, obviously, because he couldn't release it then. So I was like, oh, how good's that? I was already getting picked. So. But obviously you don't know that, so I went out to the Warriors game and tried to do my best, and that's when I found out. So we had to fly back from after that game to Sydney.
And I guess when you did get selected, what's been the biggest phone call back to your family and been like, made this side, or what's been the most emotional kind of happy call? Was it your debut? Was it your Prime Minister's? Was it your country? Or
yeah, it's probably my debut. Your debut is always pretty special. It's that achievement of making NRL the highest level in your sport. So that was always good to ring my dad and mention that I was playing first grade that week, and Dad supports the Raiders. He's always supported the Raiders. He still does.
Oh, no way.
He on the weekend, for instance, when I caught that ball and scored, he was blowing up because he didn't realise it was me, but then the Raiders lost. And then he realised it was me, and he's like, oh, all right. Yeah,
okay, so I was going to get to this. That ball, so that catch of the ball was heartbreaking for your dad.
Yeah, it was, for sure. Like,
so this is taking you all the way back to when you were an under 14s and your dad refused to go off the field, right? You just keep spotting him. You just keep.
But yeah, it was because I was sitting over the far end, and Mum and Dad will obviously come up to watch me play, which is good. And then Dad's blowing up, and then Mum's like, "Oh, I think you would just scored. I think you would have scored." So yeah, it was pretty good to hear about that. But it's good to see that Dad's always been passionate. Yeah, he always supports me as well.
It's so funny that's his team. You debut against him.
Yeah.
You beat him in the debut, and then you break his heart with catching the ball. Like, you had no right to be running after that ball, bro. Walk us through it. So, you guys kick down. Edric Lee, I think, gets the ball, gives it to Rapana.
Yeah.
What's going through your head in that? I guess there's the set before and when it happens.
Yeah, I just had a run. I think one tackle before we kicked, and I was just like, I'll get down there and hold the line to make sure they don't make a break sort of thing. Just make sure like they either just take the tackle or whatever. And then Rapana did this crazy flick pass. I was like, oh wow, I can't believe he just did that. And then I seen the ball just sort of fly sort of in my line of play, and I was just like, I might be a chance of this. So I just accelerated onto the ball, hoping for the best, and it didn't really matter if I dropped it because we're going to kick off again. And then I was fortunate enough, I got a bit of a elbow slap from, I think it was Caesar, and it made me juggle it a bit, and I was just thinking in my head, I need to catch this. And then,
so what do you, as it's in the air and you're like, oh my God, this could be a winner?
Yeah, well, I think it's one of the first ever intercepts I've ever taken. I'm usually like, don't do that play because it's a bit of a risk play, but I just thought, the hell of it, I'll try it. And then, so I just juggled it a little bit, and I was slowly losing my balance as well, and I just got it in my fingertips and tucked it under the wing and just sprinted for the line. So,
what was the feeling when you just catch it?
Yeah.
Did you mentally realize that's it? I've just won the game. We've just won the game here.
Yeah, it all happened so quick. Like I got a couple of head knocks early in that game.
Oh, really?
My head was a bit dizzy anyway, but it was also safe to play. I passed the concussion test and all that sort of thing, but. Yeah, I was just like, oh, how good is this? And it just happened so quickly. And as soon as I scored it, I just wanted to put my hands up. So,
I was just whooping up. Like, I was loving it. Because when Rapana threw the flick pass, I was like, what? He does not care. Like, what a legend. Yeah. He's flick passing. Yeah. And he flick passed it and then caught it, so everything was sweet. And then Whiten threw the cutout. And I was like... And then I just saw you just... Like, lucky you're so quick off the mark. It probably helped you get to the ball.
Exactly, yeah, for sure.
Is that... have you scored match winners before? Is that...
In the NRL, I think that's the first match winner I've done, and the way
after the siren,
the way it's happened it's definitely a highlight of my career. It's probably the best moment of my career so far to win the game like that.
And what were the boys saying? Any banter?
There's all a bit of banter. They call my hands a vice because sometimes I can be a little bit sketchy with the catch. I've got an unorthodox sort of style, but usually when it's in the hands, it's all sweet. So.
Oh man, that was good hands too. Like if you had to drop that, no one would have been like, he should have caught it. Do you know what I mean? Because it was a tough touch cut. Man, it was good to just watch. Just you know when you're happy for someone, because like I've had a similar situation where I've scored after the buzzer, and that feeling. There's nothing. There's
nothing better.
Nothing, really, literally. And like all the boys, they love you because you've just won the game, and you're like, yes, this is the best feeling ever. Yeah. So it was like when you went home, were you just like, what did your dad say to you?
Yeah, he actually told me. Well, Mum told me the story about how he was blown up, but then he realised. But he's all good. He's always happy for me, and he's happy to see me do well. So it was good.
It's sick, man. That's so good. And to your City Country game, obviously City. Rolled over you for probably a 40-minute period there and scored a fair few points. But then it seemed for the last 20 minutes you seemed to like really come on, like you personally. Yeah. You had you started getting your hands on the ball, really getting busy. Walk us through that game. You played really well. What was the catalyst that made you go, okay, I need to get involved here. I need to do something.
Yeah, I don't think.
Or it just kind of happened.
It sort of just happened. I wasn't seeing too much ball, and sometimes you can't do too much about that. It was pretty disappointing to lose against City because we did probably have the better side, and we had a lot more experience, and we had probably a bigger forward pack too. And it showed in the first probably 20 minutes of that game. Yeah. We had a massive roll on, and it was probably fortunate enough for City. Their passes were sticking. They had a lot of offloads and. In broken field, like anyone can do some good things, and fortunate enough for them, I suppose it happened for them, and they got the points up. But I don't know. I just wanted to get involved. I thought, well, I've got nothing to lose here. Everything to gain. So I was just trying to get some ball, and when I did, I tried to make the most of it, and that's what happened.
And it seems that it's been a pretty positive career for you. You haven't had that many setbacks, but have there been any setbacks for you yet? Like, as in, have there been times when you haven't reached your goal? Because it seems from this perspective, at the moment, everything seems to be working for you. But have there been times when it's been tough?
Nothing drastic, I suppose. During the off season, we signed a lot of centres, and we were searching for centres and kept searching for outside backs. And there's James Roberts and Tim Lafleur and different players like that. The Dragons always seem to have an offer going around, and you'd read that, and it was a bit. It's a bit hard to take, I suppose, because you obviously played last year in the centres, and it's like, oh, do they even think that highly of me, or what's the go there? But In the end, you sort of see the benefit it does have to the team, because if you've got better players around you, you're going to compete against them better players and potentially get better. So it was something that I was a bit down for a week or so, and it was a little bit affecting my training a little bit, because I wasn't that keen to be there, because I thought I wasn't going to be getting picked.
When it kind of feels like every time that there's an article saying they're looking for a centre, you're like, well, hang on a sec, I'm a centre, I'm here, you got one.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, as I said, I just said to myself, you can't control what the club does, you can only control what yourself does. So that's why I just said, I'll knuckle down, and that's what I did, and I just tried to get as strong as I can in the gym and just keep getting fitter and working on my skills. And fortunate enough, it's gave me that opportunity I played some good footy over the pre-season. I started round 1 in the wing, which is something I didn't think was going to happen, even though I wasn't in centres, and eventually it came that I was getting the opportunity in the centres, and I just wanted to take it with both hands.
Yep. And I guess now looking back on it, it kind of has helped you, because it's been the catalyst to make you play even better footy. You know what I mean? Like, whereas if they don't buy those centres, maybe you rest on your laurels a bit here, and you played 23 games last year, you're all good, you're set. Whereas now you've taken your footy to a whole nother level. But that's another thing that, like, a lot of fans don't really see. Like, they see the club as a whole. So when they hear, they're looking for centres, they're like, oh, that's great, the team has an extra centre. Yeah. But they don't realise that, like, there's a player there that's going, hang on a sec.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like my full career that you could be.
And that's a part of footy. It's a business, and every club wants to make sure they've got the strongest roster possible. And that's good. Yeah, I suppose it does keep you on your toes, and it does make you work harder, and that's what I like about it. I like that challenge.
Yeah, and the good thing is it's not like you're maxing out your talent just to be just playing first grade. You clearly have control over whether you will play first grade or not, in regards to if you work hard enough, you will, you know what I mean? So it's all really a matter of however hard you want to work is however much you're going to achieve, kind of thing.
Yeah, talent only gets you so far. It's the hard work you put in behind the scenes.
I was going to say, and so are you signed till next year?
Yeah, end of next year is when I'm off contract, so yeah.
So I guess that's going to be like a pretty big year for you, because
I suppose
you're a young centre, you know.
And I suppose I like to hear the club, and I probably wish like looking to stay here. But as you said, you don't know what happens in a year's time, and what's going on with the team, and whether it's the right club for you at the moment at that time. So I definitely look at it when it comes to it, but at the moment, just focus on the Dragons.
And I guess, what's your relationship like with Mary? Do you what's something unique that Mary brings to the table that maybe other coaches haven't? Like, is he a really good talker, or is he? When I was under him, he was very honest with. Like, he would say to you, like, this is the way it is, and what's it been like for you?
Yeah, he's brutally honest. I'd use that word to describe him. He's pretty brutal with his honesty there, and he lets you know what's going on, and which is good. It keeps you on your toes, but for a player like me, it doesn't really bother me. But some people's got different personalities, but they can't handle that as well. Sometimes it probably needs a bit more constructive, but. It's what you make of it, I suppose, and I always see it as a challenge, and it's always something, if he says anything negative, I try to make it positive. Yeah,
and you can kind of look at it like, well, he's just trying to get the best out of me. Like, he's trying to get the best for the team right now, kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%, and that's what he's trying to do. He's a coach. He's really passionate about the club and passionate because he wants to make us win, and that sometimes comes with the job. You have to be pretty brutal in that position. It's not an easy job, and no one's perfect at that job.
Oh man, I would never be a fucking coach ever.
Either.
You can be the best coach in the world, and your players, if they're not playing well, all of a sudden you're the shit. You're the Do you have any hobbies outside of footy, bro? Like, is there anything you do that you love? Do you surf or?
No, I used to bodyboard a little bit, but I just like cruising the beach, just hanging with mates, doing whatever. Yeah. Don't mind a drink every now and again when I can, so yeah.
Well, bro, I'll have to send you some, I'm actually launching a beer soon, Bloke in a Bar beer.
Okay, nice.
I'll have to send you some.
Yeah, for sure. Send them my way.
It's going to be similar to a summer, 4X Summer.
Okay,
but
nice.
Like, it's a premium craft beer, so it'll be premium ingredients kind of thing. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Look forward to it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm going to send like cases to like a lot of footy boys, and obviously, hopefully it goes well, bro. But anyway, onto yourself. So, the future for you. What in the next 5 years? Where are you sitting? Are you hopefully playing for New South Wales? Is that something that is definitely a goal within the next 5 years? That if you don't play for New South Wales, you will be a little bit disappointed, or what's the next 5 years?
Yeah, next 5 years, I'd love to put on a Blues jersey. It's always been the ultimate goal, and it's something I really will strive to get picked in, and hopefully I can do it, and hopefully I can be a part of their squad in years to come. I'm not thinking anytime soon. I just want to keep working my game at a club level, and hopefully that does the talking for me. But yeah, definitely Blues would be an ultimate goal.
And do you actively think about maybe, for example, if you do play a few different positions, that might make you more valuable? Like you could get that 14 spot, or do you know what I mean? Is that something you think about, or you want to cement the centre? You want to be a centre? You want to be a specialist kind of centre? Well, you already are a specialist centre, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, centre's definitely the team I'd love to play Blues with. I could play back row, I could play anywhere as long as
who cares? Get that fucking jersey.
Get me in the side. But I definitely, it'd be the best ever thing to make it in the centres.
Oh, bro, just imagine like running out in Origin.
Yeah. Yeah, it just seems like such a brutal. It's even higher, like the highest part of the game you can go because it's so brutal.
Like imagine showing your kids like a tape, and you're like, that's like I played State of Origin, like pretty much the pinnacle of sport in Australia. It is.
Everyone watches it.
Everyone watches it. Everyone. Who is someone that I guess that plays now that obviously you don't mould your game around, but who's someone that is still currently playing that you look to for not inspiration, but they're a centre that you admire, or maybe there's similarities in the game that you would like to kind of replicate? Like maybe for example, Coop's defence used to be really good, or like Darius is really good at ball playing at the back. So is it something that you kind of look to? Or
there's probably a few. Josh Morris, Matt Cooper. I like some aspects of their game. I love the way how Coops was always a good, strong defensive centre. And coming into first grade, I know sometimes when you're a bit of a younger kid playing out in the backs, sometimes you tend to miss a lot of tackles.
Yeah, definitely.
And that was a goal of mine, was to not be that weak link in defence, and that's what I just keep trying to improve on, is my defence. But because the attack will come and the skills will come with it. So yeah, it's definitely something I've probably seen Matt Cooper save so many tries and be so strong in defence.
Just never missed a tackle.
Yeah, exactly. So it's definitely something I want to keep progressing on and keep getting better at.
And who is the biggest larrikin in the Dragons side? Who's the funniest bloke? And if it's Jake Marketo, he's not funny one little bit.
He probably thinks he's funny.
The cylinder.
There's a few, Benji Marshall can be pretty funny at sometimes. Yep. And even Jake Marketo, I have to give it to him. He can be a bit of a laugh,
how dare you? The cylinder is... No, I love Jake. He's a legend.
So it's good. Yeah, he's got a shit rig though.
Oh, bro. What happened? And the worst thing is he's so strong for his size.
I know, yeah.
But terrible rig.
Yeah.
Terrible rig.
There's no definition at all to it.
And he can literally be so fit. Skin folds can be low as they can be. So. And it is a terrible rig. Yeah. No, he's a legend, man. I love Jakey. He's been through quite a lot to get where he is today. He's had his roller coaster. So he's okay. Worst dancer in the side, or singer, dancer or singer?
Probably Jack Bellin.
Dempsey.
He probably thinks he's a good dancer. But he's crap.
Debs, I like Debs. He's a legend.
Nah, he's a good bloke. He's one of my best mates.
Mate, isn't he going good?
Yeah, he's really stepped up his form. It's good to see. He's actually started to... I think he was telling me that when he was first playing first grade, he was never trying to be the best or in his position. He's just happy to play first grade. But now he's got that hunger to be better and to be into bigger things, such as Origin and stuff. So I think that's one of his goals he wants to do. It's a shame he got injured in that City Country game because he's going to be out for a couple of weeks now. So. But it'd be good, and he'll get a bit better and back and better, stronger.
And with Debs, he's kind of like it sounds strange, but because he doesn't look like this tough, aggressive forward, he's always had to fight that kind of stereotype that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? He's always, people have always second doubted him because he doesn't look like this, aggressive, tough forward. And yet, if you actually look at his game, he is a fucking awesome forward. Yeah. And if maybe he did look like some rough bogan that went around, fighting blokes. Yeah. People, you know what I mean? You wouldn't have to fight that stereotype. But that's a bit deeper level.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. He's probably just got that. He's a casual, laid back sort of. Yeah, but he's got that look, and he's always a bit indie, I suppose. But he's definitely a tough player on the field, mate. And the way he tackles through the middle is the best in the NRL, I think, at the moment, with Adam Docker and Nigel Plum going. no one else does it as good as him. So it's definitely good to see his defence is top of the game and his attack is improving as well.
And there's so many directions his game can go. You know, he's athletic, he's big, he's strong, he's aggressive, he's fit. So he's a very well-rounded forward. You know, there's some forwards that they may be really good at defence, but they might struggle maybe in attack. You know, their ball playing might. But he's got so many strings to his bow. You know, I think he's got a massive future. Even off the field, I reckon. You know, third party wise and all that kind of stuff. Like he could do anything.
Exactly.
Okay, I asked all the boys this. You'd obviously be a country lad, so I don't know if you like rap music, but favourite rapper of all time?
Probably Eminem.
Yes,
he's a classic dude,
bro.
He's white and he killed it for so many years.
Exactly, so. To be a white rapper, they'd all dismiss him. They'd just be like, he's a bum.
But these days, they talk so highly of him.
Oh, bro.
They say, don't mess with Eminem.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a pinnacle sort of thing.
Mate.
So. And coming out in a world where it was majority black people, I suppose, to be a white person and kill it at their game is pretty cool.
Oh, bro. And just because the extra respect you'd have to earn just because being a white rapper, he wouldn't have. A lot of white rappers don't really respect or know their culture, whereas Eminem has fully shown full respect for their culture. Bro.
Exactly. So that's why everyone likes him, because he has showed that respect and he's earned that respect as well.
Oh, bruh. He's
for the best.
Mate, if you you can go back and listen to even Relapse, where he was fully fucked up on drugs and fully addicted and everything. It's the sickest CD ever. Yeah. He's the man.
He's always got something to say.
Oh, bro. And his lyrics, there's no one else that has better lyrics than him. No one.
They're real.
Exactly. They're real. Favourite movie of all time?
Favourite movie of all time? I don't mind I Am Legend. I think that was
pretty good.
Real mad movie.
When the fucking dog died. God damn it.
You see people die in movies all the time, but when a dog dies, you're just
no way. Bro, I've got a dog.
Yeah.
And I'm one of those weird dog people that... My dog is literally like my son. He's my son.
Yeah, exactly.
If anyone tries to tell me different, they can get fucked. He's 100% my son.
That's it.
Do you think when you finish your career that you will move back out into the country, or you kind of like Wollongong? You're enjoying it up here.
I probably wouldn't move into Sydney or anything like that, but I do like Wollongong. I like that it's still big enough to be.
It's got enough.
Enough people to have a lot of new places and lots of things to do. And it's still got the coast. I never want to not live near the coast. It's always something I want to live next to. So
it's crazy how much we take it for granted. I grew up on the Gold Coast. We're looking out right now at a view that people all over the world would pay thousands of dollars.
Exactly. It's awesome.
Literally pay thousands of dollars to see, and we just take it for granted.
But you never know what you're going to do in 10 years, 20 years, where you're going to live, and you just let it unfold as it comes.
Do you think it'll always be rugby league, or will it always be rugby league in Australia for you, or you'd be open to travelling, or
I like the aspect of playing footy over in England, because you're so close to everything over there. You've got Europe, all of Europe to explore at your doorstep. So it's definitely something I'd look to at the end of my career. But you never know with whether you get a missus or anything like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, 100%. All right, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been extremely interesting, man. Just listening to your whole career and how much you've achieved in such a short period of time. Yeah. So thanks for coming on, brother.
Yeah, thanks for that. Appreciate it.
Boom. That's it, bros.
All good.
If you enjoy The Locker Room and you want to help the show continue growing, go to moneyball.com.au and join one of our free games today.